So today is the 7th day of filming, our last big day of filming. And yesterday we had a wrap party because a couple of actors were leaving this morning, so we had to, you know, celebrate a little, yeah. Which took its toll on us, as you can see. Everybody's very tired, but 2 scenes today, we'll make it. Or we won't.
We have only slept for 3 hours, but we're still optimistic. Lots of coffee and focus, and we'll make it to the end.
I must point out that we have the most professional crew in the world, because even if they are taking a nap, they are still working. The scene is set in the toilet, but we don't really have a toilet here, so we are actually filming in a pool. We only have one wall, right? So we gotta film the whole scene towards the same wall, and we're just gonna move the actors differently, you know, so it looks like they're in a room. And we hope it's gonna work. In storyboards, it seemed like it's working, but I don't know, we'll see. One interesting problem was that there were no urinals here, so we had to place our own. We can't drill the wall and screw the urinals into the wall, right? So we have to glue them. So the guys have some special magical glue. And look, he will just glue this thing and it's gonna hold. It's magic. Where do you get the glue?
Some guy. You don't know him.
And the scene is set in the evening, and obviously, of course, we have the biggest windows in the world, so everything is, you know, just filled with daylight right now, so they gotta put the black tarp so we can make a night scene. So the guys completely enclosed the whole area, and now we can control the light much better. And they're putting lights inside the actual lights, because the actual lights are not working, so they can put their wireless battery-powered lights inside, and they can control the intensity and everything, so it's very practical.
And he says, I guess it's dry, you turn and a project.
As always, we first go through the whole scene with the guys and figure out the blocking and positions.
And I have a feel like maybe he could just kind of like guess it's dry, he throws it in the urinal.
Yeah.
And then we lose it here.
And then you don't need to drink.
Yeah.
The reason George is in a peculiar position is because this scene is about the first test of the urinal net that George invented.
Guess it's dry.
Oh, we have to be sure. Do you mind if I take a look?
After Jack took a piss, George needs to examine his clothes to see if there was any splashback and whether or not his invention works. This scene is, as pretty much other scenes in the film, have a lot of subtext actually, you know, and under surface all of this is about power play between the characters, right? Just trust us, it will make sense. We also wanted a funny shot with the magnifying glass positioned over his eye, and it was very fiddly because if he made even a tiniest movement, the eye would not be framed nicely. This is nice. I can actually hold your hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Puppeteering time. Okay.
And action.
No drops, no wetness, no visible or tactile signs of splashback. It works! I did it!
Maybe, you know, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe just let's put it down and then you look at him, it works, I did it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so we changed the shot towards the same wall, but now the urinal has to stand, you know, freely inside the room, and it's a bit wobbly, so I don't know.
Well, I don't want it to fall over and piss go on my feet, do I?
So we brought the C-stand and rigged up the urinal, just so it wouldn't fall over during the shot. And even though it looked pretty silly, in camera it worked perfectly, because your brain just thinks that there is a wall outside of the shot, right?
Yeah. Just smoke a lot.
This kind of feels like my own personal Apollo lunch.
You do realize I'm about to piss on your idea.
So we can say this was George's close-up for this scene, and now we turn the whole setup once again to film Jack's close-up. And this time the urinal was not even in the shot, so he was just pretending to stand in front of one.
Action.
You know, this feels like my own personal Apollo lunch.
You do realize I'm about to piss on your idea.
Yeah.
Since the set was pretty packed with people, Dino and I had a little video village set up outside of the set, and we could just follow what's happening on the monitors.
Maybe you could do this take to be more into a story. It's bothering you. Because before you were kind of like, I'm not listening to him. But now you're kind of listening to him, but half of the time you're annoyed by it. Maybe...
Yeah, I'll listen parts, yeah.
Yeah, some beats of him.
And the last piece of the puzzle in this scene was the POV shot from the urinal. It's basically the urinal's point of view, so it's a low angle and again filmed towards the same wall.
You do realize I'm about to piss on your idea.
And that same shot is reused in the opening scene of the film, as well as the closing scene. So, since it was already set up, we shot some additional bits for those scenes. We had Alan being annoyed with the splashback problem he just experienced. Okay, still... One more, still rolling. Yeah, touch it. Yeah. And he was also placing the urinal net inside the urinal. And there was no urinal, so we used my hand. Cut. Stop. To je to, Dino, molim te, nemoj.
Action.
And Kent also did a couple of takes. Basically, everyone is looking inside urinals in this film. By the way, this is Anna, our focus puller. As the actors move within the frame, she carefully tracks their movement and ensures they remain in sharp focus. It's a crucial task that demands exceptional focus. No pun intended. Right, cut. This was Kent's last take. And even though we agreed it was the last take and even did the applause,
Just give me one. No, yeah. Okay. Just give me.
Dino of course wanted another one.
No, listen.
And at the same time somebody wanted to take our photos.
So everything... Everything the same. Everything the same in the beginning. Just when you come in...
So anyway, Kent did another take and I guess Dino got what he wanted.
Cut! Perfect.
I don't know, we were late again, so I was somewhere else thinking about the next shots. Do you remember how George was kneeling in front of Jack, examining his crotch area? There's this old gag when somebody enters the toilet and catches them at the most awkward timing, drawing the wrong conclusion from it. Šok, možda čak I ono pogledati jedan druga I ništa. Opet smo da. So we tried to film it and see how it would work. We wanted Al Dente to come into the toilet, as well as our producer Suki. It was his big cameo moment, and he even got dressed and shaved for this. While all of that was happening, I was with B camera capturing the shot of Alan's hand placing the urinal net into the urinal. It has to land like this, so it's a little bit awkward. Alright, no worries. Yeah. Da mogu nešto folirati onda. Okay, let's roll. Not that symmetrical. Try to do it a bit slower. This serves as the prime example of why we typically don't film these insert shots with actors, as it can be extremely time-consuming. Not as symmetrical as I would like. In the meantime, Dino started filming the other shot, but after the first take it became apparent that Suki looked just too ridiculous. And we had to take drastic measures.
They cut me out. They cut my big cameo role because I look like this. That's life, man. That's life of an actor.
So he was replaced by our buddy Vedran because we figured they were partying together in the banquet scene, so they probably all know each other, right? However, he was wearing some weird shirt that we didn't like and he had to change. At the same time, we were still filming the urinal net.
It's a tough job, this one. No.
Nice. Maybe it's now too vertical. Just try to hit the next hole. And then A crew finally had everything ready for filming.
A, 10-7, drugi.
Akcija!
But although it worked in the scene, we decided the joke was too dated and overdone. So later in the editing, we completely cut it out from the film. And this is the only place you will ever see it. But around the same time, we finally finished the shot of the urinal net. That's it, I think that's it. Right? This one is good. Yeah. Okay, so let's cut it.
No.
50 takes.
Yeah.
You have to method act, you know?
I mean, I think they're taking the piss.
We also filmed the action of flushing the urinal, which we simulated by pouring water through the improvised funnel on the top. And since the water didn't have anywhere to go, it just leaked all over the floor. Great job. It's 9:50 in the evening, and we just finished the filming of the toilet scene in the basement, and now we have a huge scene in the bar. And
It's one of the funnier scenes in the movie, and it's actually one of my favorite scenes. But the problem is, it's the last day. It's basically the last day of shoot, and it's behind 10 o'clock, and I wake up always at 5, so I'm definitely not the night type.
Yeah.
And it's a hard scene, and we're doing it at the very end.
Yeah, and we have until 1. That's the schedule, so it's 3 hours. We'll probably go into overtime again.
Yeah. We hope you will have fun watching it, because we sure won't have fun making it. So.
This scene occurs just before the one we filmed in the morning, and in this one George actually asks Jack to test the urinal net. Tessa, a Croatian actress, joins the scene as a potential love interest for Jack Van Keur.
Sorry, what's your role?
Oh, hot chick.
Whoosh. So in English, that's called hot chick.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an IMDb role.
It takes a really long time to set up a scene like this because obviously we have a lot of extras. We gotta tell them where they are, who is walking, which direction, and everything. We gotta dress the bar. Everything on the bar has to be in perfect position. You know, the cigarettes, the drinks. Then you gotta do the lighting. And now Dino is actually doing the blocking with the And now Dino is actually doing the blocking with the actors.
Quintessential filter, porcelain and streaming back.
Because they gotta know what are they doing at each point. You know, during the dialogue, somebody has to light a cigarette, somebody needs to take a sip, and it needs to be exactly the same every single take. Because then you can edit things together, right? It takes a long time to go through it, but now we are ready to film it. And then it was time for Matt to get his mustache. And when Matt gets his mustache, it's game time.
Don Molly.
Kamere A i B, 7-2, drugi.
And action. That's one small toast for man, one giant for mankind. To me and my boys up there. May they return home safely.
I've been meaning to show you something. I finally cracked the splashback problem. You're looking at the urinal splash card 1.0. It'll forever change the way we experience micturition. Oh, it's a real game changer.
So, hi. You work for the space agency.
You bet.
Alright, you've listened long enough. I didn't want to interrupt so you would get a feel for the atmosphere on the set. But we don't want to spoil too much, do we? So let's go to the next setup. So it's about the coverage. Now we first did shots from the front, and now we gotta do 2 close-ups on both of them. One from this side and one from this side. Now we gotta move the extras, one group behind one actor and one group behind the other actor, because we have only like 20 extras and we gotta reuse them for each shot. So I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. I'm just so tired. But you know what was good? It's like your adrenaline kicks in, and then you get some boost of energy again, and then you're like, you're running all the time. You know, the scene works. They act like beautifully. Everything looks beautiful. So it's good. It's good.
To me and my boys up there.
So now they acted the whole scene from the top, but this time we shot their close-ups so you can see a group of extras on each side.
Anyway, you were talking about a peanut.
Oh, I like to call it the urinal splash card 1.0.
By the way, extras are the best. I mean, it's so late in the evening, everybody's tired, and they have to look happy, and they have to constantly talk to each other without actually saying anything because they can't speak over the actors, right?
Anyway, you were talking about a peanut.
This is how they applauded.
And my boys up there. May they return home safely.
And I mean, they really look like they're talking to each other.
Cut.
After completing their close-ups, it was time for the final setup of the evening. A medium shot of Jack doing a toast. One of our patient extras stood in for Jack while the crew set up the lighting, and then we carefully positioned the people in front of him. But only their hands needed to be visible in the shot. This is such a difficult shot. You gotta position each hand, you know, in the corners, and they can't go over his face. And I'm just looking at the monitor, and I'm in the foreground.
It's a bit too left. Yeah, sure.
And action. That's one small toast for man, one giant for mankind. To me, and my boys up there, may they return home safely.
Cut, that's it.
That's it?
And with that, we concluded tonight's filming session and captured the final shot of Matt. Yeah! Applause for Matt! Matt is done!
You're all very amazing. Makeup, costume, crew, directors. Fucking amazing stuff. Really, honestly. I'm a wanker, but you're wankers too, so have a good one tomorrow, and we'll see you all soon.
Yeah. Thank you. It's the 8th day of filming. We had a 1-day break and now we're back in the studio. It's our last day and today we have only Alan with us. So yeah, today is the whole day only him at his desk, you know, all the scenes in the warehouse where his character works. So that's what we're filming today. For the 8th day of filming, there were only a handful of us on set. There was no grip department, so Dino was pretty much setting the lights himself. And the camera crew was reduced in half, with our buddy Ross taking on the role of the main camera operator. Unfortunately, we would love to reduce the sound department as well, but we couldn't as Mihoci was the only one in it. And our producer Ljubo spun the fan. We opted for this approach because it was a relatively straightforward day and we knew we could handle it ourselves, thereby saving costs. I prepared an image of the warehouse which I created in a 3D software, and as usual we projected it behind Ellen. So we filmed him for the better part of the day. He was opening the box, typing, creating the prototype of the urinal net, you know, doing all the necessary story points we needed. And then it was time to film him operating the famous urinating simulator. The machine I designed during the storyboarding phase, and then we scoured the flea market and I built it during pre-production. Well, the moment had finally arrived to film it, but just before the shot, I had a minor mishap. When I built the urinal simulator, there was a very nice metal round object here, which was the highlight of the whole machine. And of course now, right before the shot, I broke it. And it fell on the floor and shattered into a million pieces. It was probably made from glass, actually. So what do you do now, right? We have a missing piece of the machine. So Dino quickly had an idea to use a bottle.
It's basically the container with the water, so yeah.
Which is even more logical.
Yeah, logical. We see actually the liquid.
We'll put the bottle upside down and it will look okay, so yeah. What can you do? So basically I could argue that I actually made it better. Okay, it's time to pour the water into the funnel and now the urinating simulator is going to work. And action.
Cool. Cut. Perfect.
After every shot I have to collect all the water because it's leaking from every hole in the machine.
I mean, how impressive is this machine? This is just, it's got everything. It's got tubes, it's got dials, buttons I can press, lots of things I can turn, all the buttons I can press, levers I can pull. This is just like, I could spend a day just playing with this.
Now it was time for the final shot in this setup, which we referred to as the Dr. Strangelove shot. As he activates the urinal simulator, water starts splashing all over Alan's face and he laughs like a mad scientist.
That's what they say they're doing. I don't think this is going to be in the film. I think they're just doing it because this is fun for them.
Yeah.
Okay, cut.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. Oh, this.
Very good.
After completing all the shots in front of the projection, we transitioned to the green screen. Here, we captured a few shots of him sitting behind the desk, which will later be composited into the wide establishing shot of the warehouse. We also have a small scene where George is outside in the storm, so we sprayed him with water and used flashing lights to simulate lightning. Cut.
Okay. That's it.
Alright. And action. And this officially marked the last take for the film's flashback. Emotions ran high, and all that remained was to yell, cut. Cut. You know what? I think that.
Wait, and give me one for rapping.
Okay.
Okay, well, give me one.
Of course, he needs to be the last. He needs to get the last shot. But what does he do?
The same. Cut! It's a wrap! It's a wrap! We did it, buddies! Yeah! Woo! But it was a very spectacular white shot, thunder, storm,
And some expert walking.
What to say? Alan, thank you for everything. Thank you
Thank
for.
you guys. What an incredible week.
Yeah. It was a week. It felt like a month.
Well, it felt like a month, yeah.
A few minutes after we shot the last shot, we go out and we see this. The best rainbow ever. Like there's only one rainbow better than this and it's a double rainbow. This is close second. But, you know, symbolism and stuff. And thus, we came to the end of our filming. It was a challenging and emotionally charged shoot, and we were all so tired and exhausted by the end that the very next day, over half of the crew contracted COVID-19. These 8 days of filming were totally intense. You know, being on set is a constant mix of having the greatest time of your life and being worried at the same time. We had a ton of fun, but believe me when I say that there were some moments when I was honestly thinking if it's all even worth it. But I think Dino summed it up the best during our interview for Croatian television, so I'll just let him have the final word. Bye bye.
Ali eto, nekak preživiš. Vjerojatno nakon snimanja si uvijek u feelingu da vidiš više nikad ne želiš snimati film, jer je stvarno grozno i psihički si konstantno na iskušenju, ali nekak kad prođe tjedan dana nakon toga i onda gledaš materijal, onda već pitaš kao dobro i kaj radimo iduće.
To je istina.